So, Phil, let's just jump right in. We've got to talk about these two football programs, Ohio State and Maryland. Phil, this Ohio State situation has gotten very, very interesting over the past few weeks. Sports journalist Brett McMurphy dug deeper into he's now former Ohio State coach Zach Smith regarding his sexual history during his tenure at Ohio State, which stemmed from allegations of Smith's ex-wife talking about domestic abuse and how she was physically harmed by Zach Smith. Now, this has been going on. Now, originally, the whole issue was Urban Meyer. Did he do the right thing? Did he come forward in a timely manner? And he really screwed up himself by coming out during media day and bringing it up. Some thought that if he hadn't, it could have got pushed down, but he decided to lie. And that's kind of what started more and more questions being aroused. And it's even gotten deeper. I mean, Zach Smith not only is just a low-life piece of crap, but then you look, Phil, at some of the stuff he did at the school.
It's embarrassing. I mean, between the several $1,000s in sex toys that he had delivered.
Yes, it was
athletic department.
It was $2,200 worth of sex toys.
Right, and then he took photos of himself in the White House. He took photos of his genitalia in one of the White House restrooms, and then the allegations of domestic abuse. And on top of that, you also have Urban Meyer changing his story, so you could call it either he changed the story or he lied, however which way you want to, spin this. But the fact of the matter is, Urban Meyer claimed he knew about it, then he didn't know about it, and Urban Meyer's wife was brought into it because supposedly there were group texts that were brought up by Courtney Smith, Zach Smith's wife, and I find it hard to believe that Urban Meyer didn't know about this. And you're looking at another Joe Pa.
Well, here's the thing with what makes this whole Urban Meyer not knowing thing so unbelievable. According to the McMurphy's report, we just mentioned $2,200 worth of sex toys delivered to him at his office at Woody Hayes Athletic Center on the campus of Ohio State. There's also, the report also alleges that Smith took pictures of his male genitalia on multiple occasions, including at the White House when the team visited during the victory tour after the national championship back in 2015.
Don't forget about
but also, exactly. But even bigger, that really kind of branched all this even further out before the domestic violence or anything, was the report of Smith receiving oral sex with a OSU staffer. Now, what's interesting about the staffer is she is no longer, according to Ohio State, she is no longer at the university. But her information can be found on the university website. So McMurphy ended up getting two stories. She left, or she left and went to a different department. Well, all this comes back to Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer says he didn't know about it, but yet he knew about the first allegations back in 15, and he said something. So it's interesting. This whole thing is the investigation apparently has wrapped up. The report has been sent to the Board of Trustees of Ohio State, and they're holding a meeting on Wednesday to discuss what they're going to do. It'll be very interesting. I truly believe he should be gone, but I'm going to take another look at this. Urban Meyer, ladies and gentlemen, is really not that good of a coach. Yeah, he's a winning coach, but that's it. He wasn't even a good coach at Florida. The only reason that nobody saw that was because Tim Tebow and Aaron Hernandez helped mask all of Meyer's downfalls with their gameplay.
Now, I'm going to slightly disagree with you here. Urban Meyer is a pretty damn good football coach.
He's a football, yes.
Coach, as far as a life coach, no.
Oh no, absolutely.
He's
a great winning coach.
I mean, he is. Yeah, if you wanna teach kids how to play football, okay, Urban Meyer is a good guy to do that. However, him being a responsible adult and being a role model for his college players, not so much. I mean, like you were saying, at the University of Florida, you had Tim Tebow, the goody two shoes, if you will,
the Saint, yes,
the Saint. The man has his religious beliefs, and he sticks by them, and more power to him for doing that. And then you have just the opposite, the evil that men do, and Aaron Hernandez, who. How many different charges did he have brought against him at Florida? And because he was a football player, they got pushed aside or never reported. I mean, there was a culture of just lawlessness at Florida.
Well, the reason why
it's seeping into Ohio State.
Well,
the tattoo for memorabilia.
That's the thing with Urban Meyer is. He has in his locker room what has been called the circle of trust. If you're a player, a top player, and you're in this circle, you can do no wrong. If you look, we've already mentioned the Saint in Tim Tebow, but we're also going to look at the center of Hernandez. But even more, I'm going to give you the Pouncey twins, Mike and Marquise, and former safety Reggie Nelson. They were also ensnared in police investigations while at Florida. But nothing ever happened to them because they were able to perform on the field. A quote from George Diaz of the Orlando Sentinel when talking about Meyer. Great coach, lousy role model who didn't give a flip about molding troubled young men into respectful adults, especially if that troubled young man helped you win a lot of games. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what parents and what people expect from these schools when we go into our next topic and talk about Maryland. Urban Meyer, yes, you are a coach. You're supposed to help bring more money into the program, which equals you got to win, equals you got to go to bowl games and all that. I understand that. But with a lot of these football players, they're on scholarship. A lot of them never had male mentors. They may have had male coaches who they felt were mentors, all that. But they're looking at this coach to set them up and help them with life, whether it be in football or out of football when they graduate. When you have a locker room and you're the head coach, yeah, you have leaders on the team, but you are that leader of that team. You have that inner circle of all the leaders on defense, leaders on special team, leaders on the offense, and you meet with them and, just like the military. You go down the chain of command and all that. So you have yours. But you've got to teach your guys how to teach the younger guys. If you're this guy that's just, you're a star, I don't care what you do, you're setting up everybody for failure.
I got a fantastic idea. All these guys in the NFL that are protesting and want to make a social statement and they want to do something good, take some of these college players under your wing. Start teaching them how to be men.
Yes.
Teach them how to live life properly. Teach them what's right, what's not right. I mean, you guys want social justice? There you go. I mean, hell, teach these guys how to make a difference in their communities.
And I can't go on. I can't go on to the next topic because you kind of started saying it, but we're going to talk about it right now. Is people look at Ohio State? Oh, they won a championship in 2015. Urban Meyer, did the fantastic. No, if you really look at what happened to Ohio State, he came into an even more jacked up situation than what he was leaving in Florida, and he left Florida in a very broken program. They're still trying to get out of the Urban Meyer experiment.
10 to 20 years. They're at least 10 years out of.
Yes.
I mean, he left them 10 years behind on everything.
So the only thing that helped Urban Meyer is he walked into a situation at Ohio State that was an alien program that already had violations from NCAA, and that was because of the whole tats for memorabilia scandal when players were selling their championship memorabilia, all of this stuff so they can get tattoos. Well, they got violations. They weren't allowed to enter a bowl game. So he entered a program that was always ailing anyway. So no matter kind of what he did, Urban Meyer was automatically going to be looked at. Oh, he's helped saving the Ohio State team. Well, guess what, guys? He's also destroyed it. He's the one that hired Zach Smith. That's why I believe Urban Meyer should be let go. That alone, you know what kind of person he was and how you don't know about the sex with the staffer, the sex toys getting sent. Okay, if you may not know about the pictures because they were sent with his phone, which, by the way, that is a school phone. It is a company phone, which adds all new charges to anything if they come up.
Don't forget, Ohio State is it's not a private school, it is a public school. Thus, you're under a wealth of different rules and regulations that you're going to have to abide by. That's why the committee's having to meet 24. They're having to announce 24 hours prior that they're meeting.
Yes, it's it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting what we get out of this. Phil, what do you think the consequences can be for Urban Meyer?
From what I was just reading earlier today, you're going to have the board meeting, and it's a pretty good sized board. However, the university president wants to push for a suspension in which Meyer's going to be suspended for X number of weeks and then be allowed to coach again. And there are also some other people that are trying to push for a time served suspension, meaning you've been on paid leave for 2.5 plus weeks, and you just get to walk in and coach the first week, which, I mean, you're getting paid for not doing diddly other than trying to defend yourself against fairly, heinous charges. And I still think Meyer should be. I think Meyer should be let go. It's not the first time he's been involved in something like this. We already discussed his tenure at Florida. He's done it once. He's done it twice. It's just like, hey, if you date somebody who's cheated on every one of her boyfriends prior, what makes you think she's not going to cheat on you? I mean, like all of a sudden, you're the end all be all. No, this is going to be a continued practice that. This is going to be a continued practice that Urban Meyer does every school he goes to. There's going to be some cloak of doubt about whether the program's clean or not. I don't think Urban Meyer can go to a program now and not have that onus of, well, what's going on behind the scenes? Yeah, you're a good football coach, but as far as life coach, how you're leading these young men into adulthood is questionable. I don't think Urban Meyer is the guy to do it. I don't think Urban Meyer is necessarily the guy to be leading the team in doing this. And maybe it's just time. Maybe he just goes into the broadcast booth and sails off into broadcasting college football.
I don't give a shit what he does afterwards, but he needs to be fired.
No, I'm not. I'm not disagreeing with you. I mean, I'm just thinking the most likely thing if he gets booted, yeah, what's he going to do? He's probably going to maybe sit out for a year and try and clear his name a little bit, and then go into broadcasting. There is that market.
Only the future will tell.